here.
Yeah.
Woo!
And go for it, Paul.
All right. Testing. Today on Quality Time for Oh, this is a bad sign already.
And you're the one not drinking.
I know. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn how not to write an episode of television.
3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. This is our Season 1 wrap-up, and we are all here. Paul, how's it going?
I'm great. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says...
Kill your TV.
Yes. I thought I would be especially ironic today.
Oh, that should have made it into the Alanis Morissette song, buddy. Corey, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's just wonderful. I can't believe we've gone through 22 episodes of Family Ties, and now we have an episode called How Not to Write TV. I think about 19 of those 22 episodes
were good
episodes
examples.
Entitled
really
How
good examples.
Not to Write TV.
Yes, this is our conclusion. That was all of the body of our thesis paper, and this is the wrap-up.
Yeah. We've done a whole season and have really questioned what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah.
But it's a wrap-up where we're all sitting around the table, our sweater vests are neatly pressed, a big glass of orange juice in front of us, ready to talk about this season.
I was like, what is this, some sort of like Rick Santorum fan fiction?
You know?
And then the orange juice is what put it over the edge, and I was like, oh yeah, Alex B. Keaton.
That's awesome. I should have led with the orange juice. That way you would have known.
You're right. It's all right. It's all right. A good Santorum joke is never an unwanted thing.
And my guess is a Rick Santorum joke has a real specific lifespan.
Oh yeah.
You can't use it in maybe 4 or 5 months because it won't be relevant again. Thank God.
Yeah.
You're all right. All right, so how about we get started with what the whole premise of what we're doing here is. So we're going to try to write in the next, like 45 minutes or so, an episode that would have appeared in Season 1, taking everything we know about Season 1, the things that worked, the things that didn't, and then craft with those rules and regulations an episode that would have appeared.
In regards to things that work, we're working with very little right now.
Truly.
I was struggling because...
In fact, I just want to admit right off the bat, I want to confess something to you.
Okay.
That my whole concept is not based upon a first season episode. It's based upon a third season episode. And I know we haven't gotten to the third season yet.
What it could be? Okay.
There's no way it could
I'm
be
intrigued.
a first season show because the first season takes place in 1982 and my script takes place in 1984. So I can't change the time space.
Oh, this will be good. This will be good.
I can't wait to see what this is. All right, so let me just lay the ground rules of what we know, and then see how everything pans out.
Okay.
So what we know right now is that I looked at like half a dozen of the episodes from Season 1 for their lengths. And the average was about 24 minutes, 5 seconds. That's including beginning and end credits and all that stuff from watching on my DVD. We also know that the opening credit length is 1 minute, 2 seconds. The end credit length is 27 seconds. So ultimately, and the big thing is, today when you watch a sitcom, you'll have a 3-act structure. So you'll have the beginning act, a commercial break. The second act, a commercial break, and then the end of the show. Back in the 80s and until the early 90s, they would only have one commercial break. And as I said, the shows were about 24 minutes as opposed to 22 minutes, which is what they are now. So more commercials, less show.
Right.
Exactly. And so the one commercial break versus the 2 commercial breaks makes such a big difference in how a show is structured. And so we're operating in an old-fashioned way. We're operating in a way that's almost like a play, that you just have an intermission, but 2 full acts.
Exactly. Okay. So, going with that...
You also sort of have to kind of build it slightly differently, not vastly differently, but slightly differently in terms of coming up to the big denouement at the end of Act 1 and then complicating it and resolving it in Act 2.
Mhm.
Versus
Right, exactly.
taking all three and having situation in Act 1, what the problem is in Act 1, complicating the problem in Act 2, and resolving the problem in Act 3.
Right, right. Like two examples of episodes that we did in season 1 that I can think of offhand, where it's almost perfectly timed. Like I was amazed that when he loses his virginity in that episode, the kiss actually happened. I noticed it because I was watching it on DVD on my computer. The kiss happened literally at the halfway point between the beginning of the show and the end of the show, and so that's when the commercial break happened. And then I also watched the Oops episode where Mallory's friend is pregnant, and when they find out that she's run away is the hard act out, which is at the midpoint of the show. It's amazing how mathematically accurate it is.
Actually, I remember you can also see that on even up in the 90s in like Full House at like 22 minutes. That's when the music comes in. Like
is it 22 is now the magic
exactly
number.
at 22. Yeah.
Usually referred to as the moment, where something happens that emotionally changes the show.
Right. Everyone learns a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was me learning the lesson.
There you go. That was great, Paul. Okay, so and it also feels like today in sitcom world things have to happen a lot faster. More is crammed in too.
I think faster is something that's right for almost all entertainment has become faster.
Mm-hmm.
Given, I think they think that their target audience has no longer an attention span because of phones.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think times have changed, and I think they're very worried about you channel surfing, going to all the other options there are, so they try and grab you as soon as possible. Sometimes they don't really build up to something really working. I think it's nice to build up to something.
Yeah.
There's no foreplay. There's no foreplay on television anymore.
Yeah.
They go right for the under the bra grab immediately.
That's a great analogy. I like that analogy.
Oh, that's too much work. I need to get right to the right to the boob.
Yeah,
but that's me. I'm younger.
Less patience.
Right, exactly. What I was going to say also is that season 1, also as we talked about in the past, usually only has an A story as opposed to an A story, a B story, and a C story. And then some shows like Seinfeld or Arrested Development have even more. So what we're going to deal with today, we have the option of one story or two, and that's it.
Yeah. Now, did you guys...
Which I worked into my idea, even though it's for the 3rd season. I took the 1st season option of only having one storyline.
Ah, okay.
They were so repetitive with having only one storyline, much to their detriment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be very interesting to see if they if they switch in season 2 to the A story, B story, and if it actually helps the show. Because something had to help the show, because I remember it being better than it was in season 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely. I think we all do. Yeah, I kind of, with my idea, my approach was to try to fix things and include things that we like. And so I kind of went with something of a B storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's start. So let's do it like we're sitting around the writer's room, and all three of us will pitch our idea to each other and see which one we like the best, and then we'll start working on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Okay. Paul, how about you start?
No, Scott, you start. You start.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I'm excited.
Okay, good. I have not every little detail worked out, but I have a good 3 acts, okay? So, Stephen, the family's all around the kitchen table. We open up on that, and we find out that Stephen's public station is going to be doing a live broadcast of the bingo finales, all right? It's a big bingo contest that they're going to be filming live. Alex and Mallory, in my B storyline, are going to be calling it. Now, where does bingo come into big play around here? Okay? It's because, oh yeah.
You got us already. You got me at bingo.
You got laughing, right? Right? Bingo
You got me at bingo, Scott.
There you go.
You've
All right?
said bingo so many times, it's won me over.
Yeah, that's what I put down. We got to say bingo a lot in this too. Okay, so so knock on the door. It's Ron. Jay Tarsis comes walking in. All right, I had to bring in Jay Tarsis. Yep, had to bring back Ron. Okay, so we find out that Ron's life has gone to shit. All right. He's a lonely bachelor, and because of his consistent betting and always having to one-up people, he has gotten a serious gambling problem and now owes money to some really bad people, okay? So he's come to Elise and Stephen for help, all right? He's got nowhere to go. He can't pay his rent, so they offered to take him in and to help Ron not be around anything competitive or anything where he's going to want to gamble. Hence, we have our, obstacle with the bingo night coming up. All right?
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of that so far?
Of course. The audience of listeners, Corey was making so many faces that I didn't want to respond. I was just waiting
Please
for
go to
words
the
to come
YouTube
out.
channel and see.
It's just fine, Scotty. I think it's just fine.
Well, shit. All right.
It's going to be substantially better than the slim germ of an idea that I'll put forth.
Okay.
I like it. I think it gets a little complicated and something we can address if we pick this one up. But I love the bingo. I love Jay Tarsis.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like there's just a lot of moving parts to it that we'll have to examine if we pick it up.
Right, there's some moving parts, but I think that was one of my goals, to make everything a little slightly more complicated and keep the idea of the bingo finales under kind of like the theme of everything. So everything's kind of taking place under that umbrella. All right?
Right.
Okay, so
do
here's...
you want me to do mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, is there more?
I think I should do mine. I think we should build to you.
Okay.
Because
I guarantee you Paul has put more thought into this than either one of us, Corey.
I guarantee that Paul has put more thought into this.
Yours is the Tin Man when Dorothy goes to the... Your plot is the Tin Man when she goes to the lion first and they have a nice little thing. The Tin Man, she's like, "Are you who?" And then she goes to the Scarecrow and is like, "Fuck all those other people. I love them."
To say it's a germ of an idea is an insult to germs.
Wow. Wow.
So, it's 1984, not 1982.
Okay.
It's 1984, and there's a presidential election being held. Just mentioning. So, Alex accidentally walks in on little sister Jennifer, who's taking $1 out of mommy's purse so that she could buy like a Tiger Beat magazine.
Okay.
He puts the screws to her immediately and knows he's going to use this to his advantage. His sister Mallory is making a date with somebody other than her French tutor Jeff.
Good.
Oh, no.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And Alex walks in on that. And he puts the screws to her, and he knows he's got fodder for blackmail. And then Alex decides he wants to raise money for Ronald Reagan's 1984 presidential campaign. And he decides he's going to enlist his two sisters to raise money with him for Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign, because he's got blackmail. You can blackmail both of them. I'll tell mom and dad. So all three of them are going to campaign fundraise for Ronald Reagan. And end of Act 1 is when it's decided that, wait a minute, Stephen and Elise can't let the three children raise money for Ronald Reagan. We have to support Walter Mondale, and especially first female candidate Geraldine Ferraro. Women power, women power. And so Stephen and Elise decide they're going to raise money for the Democrats while Alex and his sister raise money for the Republicans. Now, this sends us off into a second act competitive problem with Stephen competing with Alex P. Keaton to who could raise the most money. And that's as much as I thought about it after 2 or 3 bong rips.
Nice! Alright!
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, so, Paul, talking about moving parts. Holy shit.
I don't want you to write the script. I just wanted to say what I said.
No.
I love it. Oh my god. You know what? I would say the way that you could make it season 1 is the way that where my episode comes from. So if we go with yours, Corey, I feel like we could get rid of Reagan and have it be a midterm election.
Which is what 82 is a midterm election.
Exactly.
Do you know what happened in that midterm election? Who took the House or the Senate?
I remember we talked about it in the pilot episode, but it was something like the House. They both stayed Republican. The Senate gained 2 Republicans, and the House, I forget. It was like something. I think they both were Republican though.
And who was president? It was
Reagan.
Reagan was running for re-election in '84, so he was elected in '80.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay. So I love it. I think it's great. Scott, what do you think?
I love it. It's awesome.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Paul, let's hold for editing really quick before
Okay.
you start. I gotta do something with my battery really quick. I'll be back in 2
okay.
seconds. Okay.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna play with my batteries too. It's on this long thing. It's got sort of a motor to it. Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Fucking Scott doesn't know what he's missing. Oh my God.
Oh my god. Wow.
I know. I should drink beer all the time.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
Never do. Only when I'm doing this podcast does my wife stick alcohol in front of me.
What else? Wait. It was only the last episode, though, right?
Yes, it was the last episode I drank. I had a shot of bourbon. My back was hurting me.
But it was an amazing business decision.
It was an awesome business decision. Hold on 1 sec.
Oh shit.
Okay. Hold on.
What are you drinking, Corey? What kind of beer is that? Blue Moon?
Blue Moon.
Nice.
Hold on. Trying to see if I can get this to work here. Ah. Alright. Hold on 1 sec.
Uh-oh. What in the hell are you doing now? Holy shit. I could watch this all day. This is more entertaining than 75% of season 1. Hey, Henry! Henry, come back!
Hey, Henry. Hey, Henry. Hey, Henry.
You just.
Sorry he wasn't here a few
There he
moments
is.
ago.
Henry, how's it going?
Say hi.
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 Hey.
Hi.
Ooh. Does that ruin our rating?
Man,
Do we
oh
get,
man.
Like an R rating now?
Why, what happened?
I think Henry was bottomless.
He was.
Oh, nice.
I was just worried about our TVMA for mature audience.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Oh, you mean there's no standards on the internet? You can post anything?
I'm sure Henry will be happy about that in 20 years.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, Dad!
At his
what?"
wedding. At his wedding, that shot is...
Here's this video. Ah! I love you walked right in. It's like, ah!
Here's a video of when I was a child, and my dad was talking about a 30-year-old sitcom. It'd be
Exactly.
50 years in the past.
Is that not the most pathetic statement a child has ever made?
All right, guys. Let's pick it right back up here. Paul, you're up.
Okay, so I wanted to make this as difficult as possible.
Oh, of course.
I figured, you know, it was such a bad season, and that Gary David Goldberg is so obsessed with politics that I had to politics the shit out of this.
Yep.
This had to be a very special episode.
Oh, a very special episode.
It's 1982.
Of course.
It's the summer. Alex is going to work on a campaign for a young, sexy congressman for their county or voting block or whatever in Columbus, Ohio. This guy is as Republican as it gets. He's like a young Ronald Reagan. He's like a slightly older Alex B. Keaton. Everything about him is just lights all of Alex's candles. And so he goes to work for him. He's constantly telling his parents and family about him at lunch and dinner and breakfast and orange juice. And then it turns out that this congressman is a neo-Nazi. And so Alex has to come to terms.
Oh, shit.
Alex has to come to terms with the fact that all of the Republican dogma and stuff is based on racism. Every, you know, tax cuts and everything else is all, and welfare reform is all based on racism. And then the B story is that someone keeps stealing all of the orange juice in the Keaton household. And my idea is...
The orange juice that we've made fun of all season long?
Exactly, the ubiquitous orange juice. Someone keeps stealing it, and it turns out that it's Skippy. And at one point, Alex tells the congressman that Skippy is stealing the orange juice, and he's like, "Well, he is a Jew, Alex."
What's Skippy's last name?
Handelman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Erwin Skippy Handelman.
Oh my God.
So that's my my pitch idea.
I think you just destroyed the character of Alex B. Keaton in that episode.
It kind of does, yeah.
A little bit. I love it though. Can we bring back the Racist Country Club from the first episode?
Oh, sure. That could be where he announces his campaign or something.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
But, yeah, Corey, what do you think?
I really like your idea. I think anything with a neo-Nazi in it is funny.
Absolutely. You're going to get ratings. Look what it did for Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, it's great for 8 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. Call this Jew crazy, but that's...
So, anyway, I kind of like Corey's idea and having it be the
stealing?
the midterm elections.
Okay.
Or just not even giving a shit and having it be Reagan.
Either way.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like Paul's idea. Is there any way, can we combine them? Is there any way to combine them?
Let's see if we can smash all of these ideas together.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
Bingo.
I like where this is headed.
Reagan, neo-Nazis.
Yep.
All right. I don't know. Do you think it's too complicated? Do you think we'll be able to get all of that into one?
Oh, it's extremely complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. Really, rest assured it's complicated.
All right.
So what would be, okay, so I think a good starting point would be how Corey starts his off, of Alex seeing both Mallory and Jennifer stealing something.
Something for him to do something that motivates him to hold something over their heads.
Right.
He can manipulate them, which is really all he wants to do.
And so, and we can, okay, so we have that going on, We can make.
Wait a second. I just had an idea.
Go
What
for
if
it.
instead of manipulating the sisters, what if we immediately have it that we start with Skippy stealing the orange juice,
See, there we
and
go.
that
Right away.
Alex
Okay.
brings him in to help with the campaign.
Okay. So we got Skippy with the campaign stealing the orange juice. We have Mallory and Jennifer stealing stuff. And then the B storyline, we could just make it a lesser storyline of Steven and Elise are trying to deal with Ron, and they have this bingo night going on. So Ron is going a little nuts trying to get in on the bingo night because he wants to
Being
bet.
very competitive with Steven as usual.
Right. Wait, what if Ron is the neo-Nazi?
It's a switch. That's a real change of what I was expecting.
Yeah, like so the election is between Steven and Ron for something.
Ooh, I kind of like the idea of Ron running for something.
Ooh.
That's a good
What
idea.
they running for? What did they play, tennis? Was it tennis? The tennis club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I was struggling with, because I think it fixes so many problems with this show. Is there a way we can get rid of Jennifer for good?
I don't think there is.
Okay, let's pretend that Jennifer has diabetes, and when Skippy steals the orange juice, she can't get
her. She can't, and she goes into a diabetic coma, and they can't quell the coma without the orange juice. They think they have orange juice in there all the time for Jennifer's diabetes.
Right.
That's great.
So she's in a coma for the whole 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. That's something it's a prayer that's been answered for all of us.
Wait. We're gonna keep this coma going for 7 seasons, right?
Hope so.
Please. It was so tempting not to find a way to want to kill Jennifer while crafting an episode. Oh.
Absolutely. If you're going to write an episode, why not write a good murder of Jennifer in there?
Yeah. For a sitcom. I think actually the ending of mine, I was like, and we never see Jennifer again. Had nothing to do with her in the episode, but I just wanted to put that in there.
And it's funny, in retrospect, in all honesty, I remember disliking her more than I actually dislike her. I mean, I don't want to say I like her in the show, but she's not as terrible an actress as I thought. She's not good.
Who, any others?
But my memory of her is that she was useless and needed to go. And then watching it, it's like, okay, she's relatively competent with a quip here or there.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I kept saying throughout the season, is that it's not her fault. It's all the writers.
No, it's really not. And I just want to be, it's like, I feel like I'm ragging on Tina Yothers, and I hate ragging on, I try to be specific about ragging on Jennifer.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's not Tina Yothers. She wasn't a dreadful actress. She was actually pretty competent with comedy.
Yeah.
Right? She wasn't a comedy killer in every scene. It was the way they were writing her with this quasi-tomboy, quasi-smart-ass kind of personality.
They had no definition for it. And it's the same with Mallory. In this first season, they don't know what to do with either one of them. They finally figure out Mallory to an extent. But then, if I remember, like, as the seasons go on, Jennifer's just kind of like this ghost. She just kind of pops in here and there. They use her so much less and less. And it's, again, not Tina Yothers' fault, just because they never defined that character, and now it's, like, too late.
And then she's not cute enough anymore, quote-unquote, and then that's when they bring in Andy, the 5-year-old.
Right, she's not,
And did they adopt him? Is that what they did late in the show?
No, they had the kid,
It's the funniest thing. They have a baby,
child.
and then the next season he goes from baby to 5 years old over the summer.
Yep.
And without a 5-year jump and everybody else, no mention of it?
Nope.
Well, I was just watching a special last night with on CNN about the 70s and television in the 70s, and it was a really very well done documentary on how television was mirroring what was happening in society. And there was a quote from Bob Newhart when they were creating the Bob Newhart show, where he said, "I simply didn't want to have children in the show."
Oh.
It was one of those where it was like, we had to construct the show that made sense.
I get it.
Without children, because I just I couldn't see myself, even though he's a father, I couldn't see myself as a television dad. I could see myself as a television smartass, but I can't see myself as a television dad. And that's when they created the show with the with instead of having a family, he had a group,
work family.
Right.
A work family. It was the group therapy session of all those crazies, and they could swap them in and swap them out at will, which I thought was a relatively clever thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in like the 60s, you would have the Monkees, or you would have Gilligan's Island and stuff like that. So you were getting away from the sitcom family, and it got more high concept.
Family of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then the 70s is when you started to have families without children.
Absolutely, and certainly Thursday night on NBC, though, if you're starting with Cosby, obviously families with children were just as much in fashion, but you were starting to have the no children thing.
Right.
You know, just like Amy Poehler in her last season of Parks and Rec insisted upon that 3-year jump.
I love that.
Because she said, I wanted children that spoke, not children that couldn't speak. And, you know, that was a whole thing with Mad About You as well, where they debated for a very long time of whether to have Paul and Jamie have a baby or Paul and Jamie not have a baby, knowing that changes the whole dynamic of the show.
Absolutely.
And if the show is about couples and dating and love and what you do when you're together, well, then that's the show. But when, as we all know, or maybe, tell Paul, when you have a child, it changes your life.
It does, Paul. Big time.
Wait, did you say it ruins your life or it changes?
I said changes. Actually.
Oh, okay.
It changes your life, and in ways that you couldn't even imagine that it changes your life, but it changes the whole dynamic of your life.
Right.
Because there's another person around.
And Corey, you brought up Parks and Rec. The writers of Parks and Rec were actually saying, like, we wanted to do a 3-year jump too, so we didn't have to write all the cliche storylines of her being pregnant and the bird and the sleepless nights and everything. We wanted to get past all that shit. And even in the final season, you barely see the kids. They don't focus on them.
You barely see them
at all.
And I thought that in their final season, the show it had a very rough start to that last season. Mm-hmm. And then they sort of found their footing as the season went on, because it was almost like writing a different show. They were
it was very different. But they did, it kind of became even a little bit more absurd with that 3-year jump of what happened in those 3 years. Yeah.
But, you know, we go back to talking about family ties and how having children in the show is a big part. And especially this show, which has the 2 older kids in Mallory and Alex, and the 1 younger one. And that's something that I don't think they figured out first year, how to use Jennifer in any kind of a way other than a quip.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It feels like they were kind of harking back to that Partridge Family, Brady Bunch little kid that needs to be cute, tomboyish, come up with an adult funny line, you know, and they didn't reinvent that at all, and it just didn't play with what they had already established.
Yeah,
and given the politics of the show, and you know, Gary Dave Goldberg was always a political figure. I mean, he had his beliefs, and he wanted to get his beliefs across in the show too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find admirable, especially considering I agree with his beliefs. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get back to the project at hand. Let me just say a way to focus our attention. Right now, let's figure out, because it's a 2-act structure. So I'm writing this all down on my paper. So we're going to have the act break be where we find out the problem, and then the second act happens where we heighten, and then the end of the show is the resolve.
Okay. Yep.
So what do we want the A-story problem to be? So it's going to be, the plot is going to be something along the lines of Ron versus Steven in this election and the family divided, right?
Okay.
So then is it going to be that Ron is a Nazi and that Alex finds this out?
Ron is, because I think that's a great reveal. Ron is a neo-Nazi.
Ron is a neo-Nazi. That's the act break then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Okay, Ron is a neo-Nazi.
Is it something as just like as stagey as like they rip off his jacket and there's a swastika or a button on it?
He's wearing the armband.
Oh, like he doesn't show up to a speech event, and Alex goes to his bachelor pad, and it's just
and it's all decked out with swastikas and neo-Nazi stuff.
Right.
His bachelor pad. That's right. This is post-divorce.
Yeah, and he's drunk, and he has to like shave him and stuff and get him ready to go out there.
Yeah.
He accidentally shaves a Hitler mustache, and he's like, "Get rid of that."
I like that. I just don't even think of that. That was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we have Skippy stealing the OJ. What do we have?
Okay.
Jennifer has diabetes. Mallory, what was she stealing, Corey? Or do you want Mallory to be...
Mallory was doing something to do with a boy, where maybe she was cheating on her French tutor.
Oh,
something
Jeff.
that pulled over her.
Okay.
She was flirting with somebody on the phone. Who's that, Mallory? Oh, it's my friend Frank.
Can we have, just for a final appearance, can we have Jeff just come in, like, kind of psycho, like he's about to shoot up the place or something like that?
Sure.
Just he can't take it anymore.
Crazy Jeff.
God, I love Jeff.
There's so much you can do with Jeff.
No, he's so talented.
Yeah.
Then, so Steven and Elise are going to be running their campaign. But what is it for? What's Steven gonna run for?
It probably would. It wouldn't be like a big office. Something that he can, still run his job at the station, but still do this, local office position.
And is he running for something for like the city of Dayton, Ohio? Is that what we're thinking of?
Yeah. Or it could be a club. It could be whatever. I just feel like that would be a great punchline, like a very Woody Allen type punchline. Like it's such a heightened event for all of them, but it's so silly.
Okay.
Where could he belong to? What could his organization be? I mean, like American Civil Liberties Union.
That could be good.
Yeah.
A neo-Nazi is running for the ACLU.
NBC, these ideas are golden. Hire us.
Can't believe that phone hasn't rung yet.
I know. Write us. Seriously, this is better than what they have on their channel right now.
Wait, they should be running for event planner of the ACLU.
Event planner of the ACLU.
Like they're organizing parties and other bake sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So they're running for this. How is it revealed? Okay, so and we reveal that Ron is a neo-Nazi by him going over to Ron's place.
Yes. Like Alex has to go pick up Ron and all that.
Right. Okay.
All right, so we have to lay a lot of track to get there. So the first act is going to be we have to find out how, Steven would be, talking about that he's running for the... what do we need to find out in Act 1? That Steven's going to run for this thing.
Uh-huh.
That Ron is going to run for the thing.
Right.
That
Alex is going to help Ron.
Alex is going to help Ron.
Right.
He's going to enlist Skippy. Jennifer goes into a coma. And then we need Mallory and Elise somehow to get plugged in to the goings-on.
Elise is helping Steven, and Mallory's approaching Elise because she wants to ask out this new boy and try to jump Jeff.
Okay.
Something simple, because it's like a C storyline.
And Elise is helping Steven in his campaign?
Right. We could open with that. So that way we're already getting that out of the way. They're prepping a speech that he's going to do or making signs or something, and that's how we would start the episode, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
It would seem very artistic on Elise's part. Seems like that's the right thing to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Scene 1, making signs in the kitchen.
Right.
While drinking orange juice.
Of course.
But
there is no orange juice.
Yeah, no orange juice.
Yeah, they keep referring to that. They keep going to the refrigerator.
Hey, I'm thirsty. Can you get me something to drink? I'm sorry, we're out of orange juice. I don't know.
And we can mention I just went to the grocery store to pick some up. Where?
Has anyone seen Skippy? He's around somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah. Jennifer's looking a little peaked.
Jennifer, are you sleeping?
Jennifer?
Jennifer!
I think Jennifer's having one of her juvenile diabetes seizures. Somebody get her a glass of orange juice.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh my God! There is no orange juice.
Oh.
Sha-la-la-la.
It's a different type of show, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But you know what? I so want to see this episode.
I don't want to see it, though.
You know what the ironic part is? We've been working so hard at getting all of these other parts going. Really, with the one A plot, that is the show.
I don't think we can do anything more. I think
She dies, and that's it.
let's just end it with Shaw.
Oh,
We've killed Jennifer, and I think we've done everything.
We did our job. I say that's doing our job right there. Isn't at the heart of this at the heart of this project? Didn't we all want to figure out a way to kill Jennifer?
Kill Jennifer. Sorry.
And we just said sha la la la.
That's it. Oh.
And it sets you up perfectly for season 2.
Mm-hmm. And then when they have the next baby, what's his name? What's the kid's
Andy.
name? When they get Andy in a few years, it just doesn't seem so jarring. It's not 4 kids, and you're not thinking, hey, you guys are pigs. Stop having children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would take them a couple years to get over the shock of having their child die.
Of losing Jennifer?
Right.
We're not going to have special episodes in season 2 about losing Jennifer. And
Oh, yeah.
how much we miss her.
Skippy kind of blaming himself.
For the orange juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, did we lose Corey?
Did we lose Chris? There he is.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, they could keep going back and like having remembrance episodes where they go back and look at all of her.
Yeah, exactly, clip shows. I knew there'd be clip shows from season 1.
Yeah.
They could have the parade of her in different overalls,
Yeah.
holding different pieces of sporting equipment in different themes, all having such different meanings. We'll all remember her so differently.
And the act out would be just Tom Hanks yelling at her.
This one crying at baseball.
Oh.
Oh, Lord.
I think we've written a perfect episode.
We've written a perfect season 1 episode.
We have. If we
That's
turn
how
Jay
it's-
Tarsis into a neo-Nazi and kill Jennifer, I don't know what our work here is done.
What else can we do? What else can we possibly do? There's nothing else to add.
Alex is raising money for Reagan or for whatever he's raising money for something. And Steven is competing again. I think everyone is at their status quo.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. We get Skippy in there. It's great.
We get Jeff. We have Jeff.
Jeff. We even got yeah.
Yeah, Jeff. I think Jeff would sort of like roll over and side with the neo-Nazi Jay Tarsis, like a French.
I'm sort of glad that we're squeezing Suzanne out of the episode because she.
Oh yeah, don't want her. Don't want her.
No.
I want more. I just wanted Jay Tarsis. I didn't want Suzanne at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, real quick, guys, I wanted to ask you this, since we kind of have a good episode. I wanted to ask you just really quick, since we're kind of looking back. What was your favorite episode? What was the episode you hated the least or hated the most?
Corey?
My favorite episode, I think, was an episode that just wasn't great, but had 2 plots. Was it the Oops episode that I liked? Was that the one?
Yeah, you did like that one.
I liked Oops. I thought that was okay with her Mallory's friend getting knocked up. I thought that was sort of good. I always thought that the best episodes were the episodes that balanced Gary David Goldberg's political feelings and actually fictionalized them, so it was right for the Keaton family.
Okay.
So I thought that one was sort of good. And there was also that, I would say that probably my least favorite episode was the first Jeff episode. There was something also late in the season. What was the one late in the season that we all hated? It was like 3 from the end.
Was it the Ming? Was it Ming?
Ming. It was. I was going to say it had something it was Ming.
Ming was so bad that it was forgettable.
Like
the other
worst episode to me.
The other ones would make you angry. This one was just like I couldn't even think of it until you said that, Scott.
What do you say, Scott? What was your favorite? What was your least favorite?
As a sitcom episode that was fun and enjoyable, I thought Sherry Baby had everything kind of working. You know, I kind of like I don't mind, dealing with the socialists or anything, but for a fun sitcom episode, the jokes were, rocking, everything, it was just operating really, really well.
The Sherry Baby where he lost his virginity?
No, that's the one with the sorority house.
Oh, with the sorority, okay.
Yeah. It was so good I didn't even mind the logic of the sorority house.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I hated the most, I hated it just because of its laziness, was the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
That just,
Jail
yeah.
Christmas time.
I was just like, what? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I like I said last episode, my favorite, even though the best one is definitely Sherry Baby, like objectively best written and everything and performed. I like the final episode, the one with Elise and Steven and their relationship.
And the no jokiness of it.
Yeah. Like, if it had had a few jokes, it would have been perfect. Because, like what I said before, is that it to me, was personified or was the example that Gary David Goldberg had wanted to do.
Right.
And you can feel that. I like that a lot. The one I hated the most was probably Jeff, but I don't know. There were a few in there that are in the running.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It was so funny when rewatching them again, when you would stumble upon one that was so awful, it was almost jarringly awful. It was like, wow, they couldn't rescue anything out of this episode, nothing out of it. And yet, once again, a cast that is almost 100% likable. They did a very good job in the network casting the five of them. I thought they were very likable people.
Yeah. The casting saved this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Hands down.
I'm so shocked, too, at how bad the show was at times. Like, I get it, you're working week to week, but my God, you have a whole crew of people working on a show, and it ends up being, this is what goes on air? That was...
Even for that time, I agree with you, Paul, because you look at the other shows around it, there's so much better structure, better plot lines, and this is, it felt like sitcom 101, like they had never really written a sitcom before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've written a show. and
that was a solid moment of reflection. Just like, What
were you going to say, Corey?
I said, we'll come back for season 2.
Oh, we are going to come back for season 2.
Yeah, we got the green light. Tartikoff gave us a green light. We are good to go.
We're coming back for season 2.
You can buy diapers for Henry again, Scott.
Yeah. Finally. If you're watching this on YouTube.
And don't worry, therapy is relatively cheap for Henry, so don't even worry about that.
Good. Okay. Good. Yeah. It's going to build character, I feel, Corey. It's going to build character.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Well, guys, I'm actually very impressed that we made it through a full season.
Absolutely,
we have stuck with this. We want to keep going. Listeners, I hope you're still on board with us and still, willing to hear us talk about a 30-year-old sitcom.
I hope you enjoyed this rambling for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did what we promised. We showed you how not to write an episode of television.
We actually did, and we joked about Santorum fan fiction, and we just wrote Family Ties fan fiction. So, yeah.
If Scott, if you could novelize it for us, write it in long form prose, that would just be great.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. Oh God!
He burst into his room and screamed, "You're a neo-Nazi!"
Corey, I am going to take your Jennifer. Jennifer, are you awake, Jennifer?
Thanks. Just do it verbatim.
Is she sleeping? That's definitely going in there.
Great.
Well, guys, that about wraps it up for us. Rate and review our show on iTunes. And for questions and comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for any updates. And you can also follow each of us, too, on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
And I'm obsessed with my neck right now. Oh, I'm at Corey Packler.
Be sure to like our Facebook page.
What's wrong with your neck? What is it?
What's wrong with your neck?
I don't know. There's just a shadow, and I look like I had a goiter. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh no.
If we can get a doctor to look at the YouTube channel for this and diagnose Corey, that'd be a huge help. We'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics. Fanboy Comics is an online conglomerate of geek media, providing its readers with daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Be sure to check them out at fanboycomics.net. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the Family Ties theme song, Without Us. Be sure to check out Perry's website at www.perryadams.com. And also Brian Dillon, who created our fantastic drawing and artwork, as well as edits our show. Brian is the president and co-founder of Fanboy Comics, and follow him on Twitter at Comic Book Slayer. And lastly, Sean Foster, Fanboy Comics graphic designer, for designing our logo. Thank you, everybody, and we will see...
One last thing.
Yes, Paul.
Next week, the guest star of the episode is going to be huge. Just you wait.
We're going to kick off Season 2 with a bang.
Okay.
We'll see everybody. Bye.
Bye.